I hope you had a good Wednesday. It's Thursday. Now, when I try to go online as a driver with Lyft, just want to show you this. This is my screen here. I then click the Lyft driver icon, and it's now prompting me, right, to agree to this whole new terms of service, right? It says there specifically, before you can proceed, you must read and agree to Lyft's terms of service. Now, I read this, right? Gary Kubeta, how are you? Mike, how are you? Tommy, good morning. I read these terms of service. It just updated again, I believe on August the 26th. And I'm not agreeing to this, right? So they have a help center. I also want to run this by an attorney because the fine print, which I'm going to read to you just now, I would literally maybe be signing away or giving away thousands and thousands of potential dollars that are owed to me, right? Even with these new changes of independent contractor employee status, could be down the line that you are owed a lot of back monies, right? But in general, going forward, the verbiage stinks, right? So let me just read it to you so we get a little bit of a better understanding before everybody chimes in, right? So these terms of service constitute a legally binding agreement, the agreement between you and Lyft, Incorporated, its parents, subsidiaries, representatives, affiliates, officers, and directors, collectively Lyft, we, us, or our, governing your use of the Lyft application, website, and technology platform, collectively the Lyft platform. Just basically to set the roles very clear. That's the introduction, right? So here, this is where it gets interesting. Please be advised, this agreement contains provisions that govern how claims, so they're concentrating this one on claims, right? That govern how claims between you, our house, and Lyft can be brought. See section below. So they, most of the people, let me just tell you how it works in real life, will not scroll down 17 legal sections and read the verbiage. They want to get online and I agree, without even too lazy to even read what this is all about. I agree, got to get back online, got to get money. But at that moment, when I hit that agree button, have I just waived a lot of my rights? Absolutely, right? And I'm sure many of you have just gone ahead without even thinking, just be honest here, and clicked I agree before even going and taking the time, 10 minutes of your time, to understand what did I just agree to, right? So they say see section 17 below. I'm going to scroll to section 17 just now and read it out. These provisions will, with limited exception, require you to submit claims you have against Lyft to binding and final arbitration on an individual basis. On an individual basis, right? Listen to that. Cannot participate in any class actions by you using the choice of words, individual basis, right? You one-on-one can only bring your problem to Lyft, and it's got to be sorted out in arbitration, right? These provisions, with limited exception, require you to submit claims you have against Lyft to binding and final arbitration on an individual basis, not as a plaintiff, so you may not sue, or class member, I just said it, in any class action suit. Sorry, I just swallowed a bunch of coffee beans that went down the wrong way. Group or representative action or proceeding. As a driver or driver applicant, you have an opportunity to opt out of arbitration with respect to certain claims as provided in section 17, right? Don't show you here in this verbiage how to opt out. There's nothing listed here on how you can opt out of the arbitration agreement. By entering into this agreement, and or by using or accessing the Lyft platform, you expressly acknowledge that you understand this agreement, including the dispute resolution and arbitration provisions in Section 17, and accept all of its terms. If you do not agree to be bound by the terms and conditions of this agreement, you may not use or access the Lyft platform or any of the services provided through the Lyft platform. If you use the Lyft platform in another country, you agree to be subject to Lyft's terms of service for that country. That's basically got a gun on your head. If you don't agree to this, you don't get to drive with us, right? So I have news for you, Lyft. I'm not signing that, right? And here's the reason why I'm not signing it. Now I go down, I scroll down all the way, right? There it is. Tons and tons of verbiage. Well, nobody would read, right? We're only on number 4 now, and I've just been scrolling. We're only on number 6 now, scrolling. They want us to go to 17 right down at the bottom. That's when it gets juicy, folks. That's the stuff that you need to read. We're only on 11. We're scrolling. Who on earth is going to read? No, I'm too lazy. I am just going to agree to this and carry on driving. Well, guess what? You may be missing out on a lot of money. Here we are. We have finally arrived at number 17. Let me clarify. Dispute resolution and arbitration agreement. The verbiage that they mentioned right in the beginning, right? The point that they're bringing up, agree to this or you will not drive on our platform. Tommy says, these dirty rats. That statement, my friends, sums this up. This is a very dirty, rattish way of cornering us and saying, do you want to drive? I don't think it's cool. So here we go. Dispute resolution and arbitration agreement. A, agreement to binding arbitration between you and Lyft. You and Lyft mutually agree to waive our respective rights to resolution of disputes in a court of law by a judge or jury and agree to resolve any dispute by arbitration as set forth below. They know that all of this verbiage now, that people are working to shoot down the arbitration clauses because they're completely bogus, right? So they're trying to lock you in quickly before everything changes against them and they owe a lot of money. Here's the thing, you sign off on this, you are not going to have access to all of those past monies. Let me tell you and make it very, very clear, right? So this agreement to arbitration agreement is governed by the Federal Arbitration Act, right, and survives after the agreement terminates or your relationship with Lyft ends. Any arbitration under this agreement will take place on an individual basis. Class arbitrations and class actions are not permitted. So you can't piggyback on one of the top attorneys up in Boston she has collected thousands and thousands of dollar settlements for drivers, for Uber and Lyft drivers, right? It's one of the top dogs out there, right? And she's getting under Uber and Lyft's skin and she's costing them a lot of money and she's getting you the money back that you deserve. You won't have access to that anymore, right? Except as expressly provided below, this arbitration agreement applies to all claims defined below between you and Lyft, including our affiliates, blah, 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 directors, blah, blah, blah. This arbitration agreement also applies to claims between you and Lyft service providers, including but not limited to background check providers and payment processors, and such service providers shall be considered intended third-party beneficiaries of this arbitration agreement. So all third-party companies that work with Lyft, again, you can't sue them. You got to take them to arbitration. Except as expressly provided below, all disputes and claims between us, each a claim and collectively claims, shall be exclusively resolved by binding arbitration solely between you and Lyft. These claims include, but are not limited to, any dispute, claim, or controversy, whether based on past, present, or future events. Past events. Listen to that. Past, based on past events. Past earnings that are probably due to you because of a lot of change of laws, right? You cannot access that money. You will have to go the arbitration route. And in arbitration, the way it works with arbitration, yes, you get a resolution quickly. But, if Uber and Lyft are paying all of these arbitrators, and these arbitrators have listened to thousands and thousands of cases, let me just tell you who they will side with, right? Who is paying their money? Uber and Lyft, right? So just putting that out there. Let's see. Arising out of or relating to this agreement and prior versions thereof, including the breach, termination, enforcement, interpretation, or validity thereof, the Lyft platform, the rideshare services, rental or use of bikes or scooters through the Lyft platform, Lyft promotions, gift card referrals or loyalty programs, or any other goods or services made available through the Lyft platform. Your relationship with Lyft, the threatened or actual suspension, deactivation, or termination of your user account or this agreement. So if you've been deactivated and you say, I've been wrongfully deactivated, and you can prove that, as I can with one of my Uber accounts, right? And they're shitting themselves. And that I take to court. I'm not going to sort that entire issue out in arbitration. I'm going to try and avoid arbitration as much as possible, right? Because when the excuses that a lot of these companies use to deactivate your account, right? Perhaps taking the side of the passenger, you may feel, hey, hang on, there's another side to the story. There's my side, and this is how it really went down. I was wrongfully terminated, right? So right here and then, you're signing your life away, right? So go on. I don't want to read all of that. It's going to get really, really boring. By agreeing to arbitration, you understand that you and Lyft are waiving the right to sue in court or have a jury trial for all claims except as expressly otherwise provided in this arbitration agreement. This arbitration agreement is intended to require arbitration of every claim or dispute that can lawfully be arbitrated, except for those claims and disputes which by terms of this arbitration agreement are expressly excluded from the requirement to arbitrate. Prohibition of class actions and non-individualized relief. You understand and agree that you and Lyft may each bring claims in arbitration against the other only in an individual capacity and not on a class collective action or representative basis, class action waiver. You understand and agree that you and Lyft both are waiving the right to pursue or have a dispute resolved as a plaintiff. So you can't sue here, or class member, or any perpetrated class, collective, or representative proceeding. Notwithstanding the foregoing, this subsection B shall not apply to representative private attorneys' general act claims brought against Lyft, which are addressed separately in section 17C. The arbitrator shall have no authority to consider or resolve any claim or issue any relief on any basis other than an individual basis. The arbitrator shall have no authority to consider or resolve any claim or issue in any relief on a class, collective, or representative basis. The arbitrator may award declaratory or injunctive relief only in favor of the individual party seeking relief, and only to the extent necessary to provide relief warranted by that party's individual claims. Notwithstanding any other provision of this agreement, the arbitration agreement, or the AAA rules, the American Association of Arbitrator rules, right? Disputes regarding the scope, applicability, enforceability, revocability. 1 second here. or validity of the class action waiver may be resolved only by a civil court of competent jurisdiction and not by an arbitrator. So I want you to read that, right? Especially when it comes to the rules governing the arbitration. Once you've signed this, the only route you can go is the arbitration route, right? So you might want to read 17D if you have a problem arising the moment you've signed your life away and say, I agree. I'm not agreeing to this. I'm not desperate for their money. I'm owed a lot of money, but moving forward, I am not agreeing to this, right? They say you can opt out of this. They're not really showing you how to opt out of it. They have a help center. So I'm going to run this by an attorney and say, hey, how can I, Rideshare Professor, opt out of this arbitration agreement? It's absolute BS, right? But please read 17D for dog, the rules governing the arbitration, if that's the route you want to go, right? Now, when it comes to the arbitration fees and awards, the payment of filing and arbitration fees will be governed by the relevant AAA rules subject to the following modifications. If Lyft initiates arbitration under this arbitration agreement, Lyft will pay all AAA, American Arbitrators Association, filing and arbitration fees. With respect to any claims brought by Lyft against a driver, or for claims brought by a driver against Lyft that A, are based on an alleged employment relationship between Lyft, are based on an alleged, if you allege I have an employment relationship with you, right? B, or they arise out of or relate to Lyft's actual deactivation of a driver's user account or a threat by Lyft to deactivate a driver's user account. C, arise out of or relate to Lyft's actual termination of a driver's agreement with Lyft under the termination provisions of this agreement, or a threat by Lyft to terminate a driver's agreement. Or D, arise out of or relate to fares as defined in this agreement, including Lyft's commission or fees on the fares, tips, or average hourly guarantees owed by Lyft to drivers for rideshare services other than disputes relating to referral bonuses, other Lyft promotions, or consumer-type disputes. Or E, arise out of or relate to background checks performed in connection with a user seeking to become a driver. The subset of claims in sections A to E shall be collectively referred to as driver claims. Lyft shall pay all costs unique to arbitration as compared to the costs of adjudicating the same claims before a court, including the regular and customary arbitration fees and expenses to the extent not paid by Lyft pursuant to the fees provision above. However, if you are the party initiating the driver claim, you shall be responsible for contributing up to an amount equal to the filing fee that would be paid to initiate the claim in the court of general jurisdiction in the state in which you provide rideshare services to riders, unless a lower fee amount would be owed by you pursuant to the AAA rules, applicable law, or subsection E1 above. Any dispute as to whether a cost is uniquely to arbitration shall be resolved by the arbitrator. For purposes of section 17E3, the term driver shall be deemed to include both drivers and driver applicants who have not been approved to drive. Location and manner of arbitration, unless you and Lyft agree otherwise, any arbitration hearings between Lyft and a rider will take place in the county of your billing address, and any arbitration hearings between Lyft and driver will take place in the county in which the driver provides rideshare services. If AAA arbitration is unavailable in your county, the arbitration hearings will take place in the nearest available location for an AAA arbitration. So they are truly pushing this. Tava L'Oreal says, sneaky bastards. Indeed they are. Lyft is pushing. They know they have so many class actions coming, so many court cases coming, that they're trying to force you to arbitration. Now, I believe I read in this document that, and I'm going to go through it again and leave a comment underneath, that you may have the right to a small claims court hearing, right? My friends, the small claims court is often your savior. It's one-on-one. You, the judge, the company. A lot of these things, I've done this many a times for friends, many a times for myself, and I've helped people on the phone, right? When you go into one of these small claims court hearings, no need to be stressed out. You know your facts, you have your evidence, right? Usually most of these small claim courts filings get sorted out in the hallway. They have like a little mediator there. You talk to the mediator goes to the company, to Uber, and says, hey, or representative, hey, this is what they say. They're adamant. They'll go before the judge. The company says, hey, they want $1,500, offer them $500. Goes back to the plaintiff, to the little guy. Plaintiff says, $500? I'm not settling for $500. I want $1,500. I'm going to go before a judge. She, the mediator, goes back to the company and say, hey, won't accept the $500. Okay, tell them our final offer will be $800 or $900. $900 goes over to the, I've seen this. This is, they don't want to chew up the time before the judge. They want more important cases to be heard. So come back to the plaintiff. They offered $900. Okay, tell the defendant if they are willing to settle on $1,200, we do not have to go to the judge. Play hardball. Play hardball. Doesn't mean you have to, like, let's say, get that $1,500 that you claimed, but get close to it. But play hardball. Mediator will go over and say, the minimum they'll take is $1,200, and then they'll say, okay, tell them we'll settle on $1,100. Done. Right? So you went in asking for $1,500, you got $1,100. Right? I've won many, many cases like that, even small claims court cases. Now, small claims court cases is up to $10,000. If somebody rightfully owes you $10,000, right, go fight for it, right? Don't be shy. I have one guy who's been on the phone with me 3-4 times last week, sort of counseling him a little bit, because I've done several of these small claims court. I've never lost in small claims court, never lost representing a friend in small claims court, even if it was about rental agreements or deposits that were owed back, that were put down on apartments, got the money back. You know, you have to know how to play this game. It's a game. It truly is, right? So, you know, I've been telling the guy, he calls me up and says, well, their representative says this. And, you know, I said, no, screw that, buddy. Tell them you have a court date, appear there, I will be there, because if they're not there, they're going to lose hands down. If you, the plaintiff, go to small claims court hearing and the defendant doesn't show up, that you've won the case right there and then, right? It's not going to get delayed or anything like that. It's heard. Defendant doesn't show up, ruled in plaintiff's favor, boom, done, right? So he made that threat to Uber a few times, and guess what? He has them coming now, right, to that hearing. He has them coming. So I wish this guy good luck. What are the lawsuits? Kevin Wenzel says, what are the lawsuits about? Now, the lawsuits could be about a lot of money. Let's take California with the AB5, for example, right? They are rewriting the gig workers law, right? By January, we'll pretty much know what the new deal is, right? So let's say under the new law, they they have to pay or back pay. They have to back pay a lot of money for this new status, right? Let's say you are deemed an employee. So then now you're going to go back and say, okay, well, I want the minimum that put in so many hours. That's easy to prove. This is the amount I want. This is the amount you paid out. I want the difference, right? So Dustin is driving. Lyft. They get the Smakovich. Good. Exactly. I didn't see Dustin's in the house, but 100% correct here, Dustin. Smakovich time for them. I am not signing or agreeing to this because there could be a lot of money owed. That's why class action attorneys do so well. They know the law. They get a lot of they spend a lot of money on marketing. They bring in the drivers, and then I know there's a company in Boston that has collected and collected and collected for drivers from Uber and Lyft, right? Big amounts. Some guys $4,000, some guys $6,000, right? So right now at this point, you're waiving all your rights, and with this AB5 employee status, there could be a lot of money back owned to you, right? Like back, if you go back in the months, in the years that you drove, and if they deem you, let's say, an employee, you owed cash, my friend. So now at this point, you're waiving it away. You don't even know how to calculate your losses, right? So you go before an arbitrator, you say, well, I calculated you owe me approximately $30,000, $40,000. And they say, no, we'll give you $5,000. So you might be desperate for the $5,000, take it. In that case, you've waived all this money. Class action attorneys know what they are going after. They know the law. They will get the maximum for each individual because they take a big chunk of that money themselves for representing you, right? This is what they're afraid of, right? And I would say they're extremely afraid of any retro payments on AB5. So if you look at the verbiage, right in the beginning, they say, please be advised, this agreement contains provisions that govern how claims between you and Lyft can be brought. See section 17 below. These provisions will, with limited exception, require you to submit claims you have against Lyft to binding and final arbitration on an individual basis, not as a plaintiff or class member in any class group or representative action or proceeding. As a driver or driver applicant, you have an opportunity to opt out of arbitration with respect to certain claims as provided in section 17. If you do not sign this, gun on the head, you will not be driving on our platform. And I will guarantee you that 95% of the drivers, I'm just going to take a wild guess, automatically hit that agree button, automatically waive their rights. I am not clicking on that purple agree button, no. And that's it. You know, even if I stop driving for them at that point, right? I am a man of principle, right? And if you're going to try and FUCK me over on your legal ways to stiff me or screw me out of past money or future money, as they say, right? Past or future, I'm not having it. So that's it. I am not setting another destination filter or picking up a Lyft passenger until I've had an attorney read this and say, sorry, my client is not agreeing to your terms. And they're going to turn around and say, sorry, in that case, you are not allowed on our platform. And at that point, I think the next step is that Lyft has a problem, because this here is pretty much extorting you. If you do not agree to this, you will not drive, right? And if this new arbitration hearing or bill, arbitration bill, right, where they're trying to shoot down arbitration in California passes, these guys are in trouble. So I will stick it out, right? Because if they illegally terminate me because I disagreed to sign their bogus verbiage, right? Down the line, I can tell you I have a big claim, right? Because I believe this arbitration farce that they have, or that they're trying to trap you in, is illegal. And I believe that bill that will pass will shoot all of this nonsense down. At that point, it's money time, right? So you've denied me for months and months and months driving on your platform because you want to pretty much blackmail me. If I don't sign, I don't drive, right? And I lose out money, I lose out money, I lose out money month after month after month. But if that bill passes and arbitration is shot down, I'm going after Lyft for all the lost earnings, right? So we shall see. We shall see. But I've taken the time to read all of those 17 points. It's a lot of verbiage, right? I do not like what I read in 17A, 17B, 17C, 17D, 17E. I'm not agreeing to that. Sorry. Okay. I'm in California, but maybe other states haven't received this, but the arbitration verbiage, remember, wherever you bring your claim, it says will be in the state and the county that you file in. So maybe this is just for the California drivers. That's why I made the video, right? We're looking for feedback. I mean, did Vegas drivers get this message, or was it just the California? Did Michigan get this? Did Florida get this, right? Were you, as in my case, you got onto the phone, right? There it is. You click on Lyft, and this is what sign comes up. Before you can proceed, you must read and agree to Lyft's Terms of Services. Well, I've read it, and I don't agree. So Kevin Wenzel, thank you so much. We're getting some feedback. Indiana got it. Massachusetts got it, right? So that's it. They're throwing, like I predicted, they're throwing this wide net. Thou shalt not bring a class action suit. Thou shalt not be a plaintiff in a court, right? You will agree to our way or the highway. You agree to this or you out. And telling you right now, you click on this, I'll carefully say you've signed a lot of money away. And you've signed a lot of your, definitely have signed a lot of your rights away. Okay, so the Truth Warrior, I'm also in Central Ohio, Columbus area. I've only been driving for a little over a year. I'm getting close to retirement from Rideshare altogether. Good for you. Amy Dean, Houston got this. In fact, they are firing you if you don't agree. Exactly, Tavor L'Oreal. And that, in fact, they are firing you if you don't agree, right? That in itself is wrong. And I think that you could attack that in court if all this arbitration shit doesn't fly, right? If this arbitration nonsense gets shot down, I think they have a bigger problem, right? Because then you can say, hey, I'm not agreeing to this and you're firing me, right? I have some rights here. But apparently my rights don't mean anything. It's your way or the highway. So I'll sit and collect later. What's the best way to raise capital to start a small black car services? Kevin Wenzel. So when you're going out and raising capital and want to start a small black car service, good question, right? First, look at your immediate family and friends, right? Is there anyone, or that maybe your brother is looking for a business opportunity? Hey, should we do this together? Again, it's dangerous to draw friends and family into any business relationships. If they go sour, it gets really, really ugly. But here's my tip. This is the way to do it. Go out and get BizPlan Pro software. There it is. BizPlan Pro software by Palo Alto. The best business plan writing software there is. It has the entire structure of the business plan set up for you. You get to write your little executive summary. You get to do 1-year forecasting, 5-year forecasting, right? And be very realistic. Go out there and raise the monies that you need. Put that business plan out on angel.co. right? Which is angel investors. You want to deal with angel investors, not venture capital. Venture capitalists will usually take 51% or more and control the direction of your company, right? Venture capitalists will not get involved in a small little black car service, but angel investors might if you have a good track record, right? So in my case, if I wanted to do some deal, I have insanely wealthy clients. I have 2 clients that are billionaires, right? I have several clients that have probably $300 to $700 million. And I'm talking people in Hidden Hills, Calabasas, Beverly Hills, Pacific Palisades, right? That have come to me again and again and again and say, Torsten, do you have anything? We'll throw some money at. What do you want to do? Do you want to do Airbnbs? What do you want to do? Right? Wealthy people that have too much money, too much spare time, and they want to invest money. These are the type of people you could definitely turn to and say, hey, listen, guys, back me up. I want to start a black car service, right? So do you know those type of people? Go to those type of people first and say, here's my business plan. If you could come on board in any capacity or level, or even as a director, to bring in your know-how, your knowledge, I would greatly appreciate that, right? So it's not really difficult raising money. What's difficult is, raising the big amounts, 20 million plus. But anything from 0 to $1 million, there's a lot of people out there with risk capital that will look at business plans, right? So once you've written the business plan, it's pretty much pre-written for you. You then create like listings, for example, on Angel Co. This is the company we're forming. This is the direction we're going. This is the market we're operating in. This is our marketing plan. And you will see that people start coming forward and asking questions or say, hey, send us your business plan. There's many ways to raise money. I've done it several times, right? Also for friends. So if you need help in that direction, I have, by the way, I remember way back, I did make a video. If you put in my channel, Rideshare Professor, a business plan or Biz Plan Pro as keywords, that video should show up. And I actually walk the people through that scenario, how to raise money for a limo company, right? Check that out if that interests you, right? Kevin Wenzel, you're more than welcome. That's what I'm here for, right? Oh, what do I use for receipt management? And are you talking about my limo company, right? Or what are you talking about? If so, email or text me, and then I can give you the name. But this is face value so misleading, folks. So misleading. To the point that I'm not agreeing to it. If I had agreed to this screen would have been gone, right? Don't you agree? So this has been there now for 2 days. I've read it. I've slept over it. I'm not desperate. I don't need their money. I don't need their referrals. But I have a feeling they owe me a lot of money, right? So I'm all about the principle. I'm not going to sign off on something that is trying to screw me over, right? And nor should you. But on the other hand, I do understand if you desperately need the money, you've bought that car, you're pretty much forced to agree to this to keep on earning, right? Down the line, you still may have a claim, right? Because I think they're going to shoot this whole arbitration nonsense down, right? So I will fully respect anyone that did agree to this. I'm not holding it against you. Definitely not. Don't get me wrong here, right? I'm just telling you what I would do, right? And I'm not reliant on this money, right? I don't have to rely on Lyft as my income source. So I can forego referrals on Lyft and forego trips on Lyft. But I personally will not be signing off on this. However, I do understand if there are individuals out there that have bought the car and they got to make it work, they got to produce money weekly, they are forced, because literally Lyft has the gun to their heads and they are forced to agree to that, right? Cool. The Truth Warrior, I'm blessed that Rideshare helped me during a tough time. I like to hear that. I'm grateful that I have a decent job because my market is too small to do it. To do Lyft or to do it? Well, you're using really good positive language there, right? Blessed, grateful. And just stay in that space. That's all I can say, Truth Warrior. Stay in that space. There's two words that stick out to me. I feel blessed and I am grateful. That to me just says a lot about you as a human being and what space you're moving in, right? Doesn't seem to be any anger, doesn't seem to be any frustration. You're accepting as it is and you're grateful for the past, right? So I like that. Words are powerful, my friend. Mark Fowdy said that video inspired me to start my company. Woo! That makes me happy. That makes my day. A statement like that. Mark Fowdy says that video that I talked about way back as I laid it out, how to raise money and how to create that limo company, says that video inspired me to start my company. And I hope, Mark, that you can report back to us. Right, you're in the Boston market, I believe, right, Mark? So let me know how that is working for you. I think you had some issues with your car as far as Uber goes. Gail, it's not a sex channel here. Oh, we've got a little child in the midst. Words such as poop, I think it speaks volumes. So we're going to give them the royal flusher. Gail gets the royal flusher. Thought we could get through this live stream without a troll, without a hater. But obviously, cool, Mark. You have been in my thoughts. I'll text you later. I'm still getting black requests. That's very cool. I'm happy to hear that. Glad that there was some resolve. All right, so that quick video. I'm heading out. Got a long day, picking up some more cars today. And any questions about this? I'll do a follow-up video. But like I say, this video is staying in that status. I'm not clicking on that purple agree button. I agree button. I'm not agreeing to this horse shit, to this nonsense. I'm not. Period. Wish you a great day. Let's get a lot of likes before I get out of here. A lot of thumbs up. So I can take a picture and set the frequency for Friday, for tomorrow and the weekend. Huge rugby weekend for me. 8 teams left. 2 games are played on Saturday. 2 games are played on Sunday at the World Rugby Cup in Japan. Time difference between California and Japan, 15 hours. So I'm going to be watching those games at 2 and 3 a.m. in the morning, right? The game that I'm interested in is that the host country, Japan, is playing South Africa on Sunday. Obviously, I'm backing South Africa, but there's a lot of good teams in there. Who are the final 8? If anybody is of international blood in this channel, left are Ireland, New Zealand, Japan, England, France, South Africa, Wales, and Australia. There it is. Those 8 countries are left. Compton, California, in the house. Elias. All right, I'm out of here. Thumbs up, Kevin Wenzel, all of you guys, Truth Warrior Sam, Elias, not Gail, we flushed her. Scott. Scott Tucker says, well, to correct what I said yesterday, these CEO and owners won't answer to Congress and others till arrests start happening with them. Exactly. Arrest them. They don't want to cooperate. If they're not interested in safety, arrest them. I like that, Scott. Thank you. Glad I read your message before I ended the stream, but I want thumbs up right now. Kevin Wenzel probably gave me 20. I need at least another 30. Tommy is heading hard. Great. Mark Fowdy, you're welcome. There we go. Speed Racer in the house, coming through with about a sweet 15 to 20. Yeah, horseshit. That's one of my favorite comments. If I dislike something, I say horseshit. Anyway, here we go. That's the frequency we set, my friends. A lot of yellow, a lot of positivity. And I wish you a fantastic Thursday. I hope you're getting ready for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if you're coming onto this video after the live stream, please give us your feedback. Please give us, if you are an attorney, definitely leave us some legal advice here in the channel so we can read it, right? I'm always interested to hear input from attorneys that are practicing attorneys or retired attorneys, right? But you're more than welcome to leave some feedback here. Romeo! Yeah, Uber just laid off 100 to 300. No, not 100. They laid off 300 people. So they laid off 350. They laid off 400, 300, 350. I mean, you're talking close on to 2,000 people that they've laid off. Do we smell trouble? Guys, thank you. Muchas gracias. Dankeschön. Baie dankie. Merci. Have a great day. I forgot the Italian one. Grazie. Mille grazie. Ultra testosterone, you got that right, brother. You got that right. Thank you for coming in. I am not going to take shit from Dara. In fact, he knows, I'm sure he knows about me because I'm not shy to expose the guy for who he is. He is not a leader. He is not a CEO, right? Again, the video that I made, go and check it out yesterday. If you are unable to send people to a committee, to a hearing on safety, right? You're not even sending a representative on Uber and Lyft. Strange that they probably called each other. Dara called Logan Green. Hey, you know what? They want us to show up at that hearing for safety. Fuck them. We're not going. Don't send anyone. Yeah, I agree with you. Don't send anyone. Let's just stay silent. Let's not be leaders. Let's not be CEOs. Let's be cowards. Let's shy away, right? That's who you are, Dara. That's who you are, Logan. You obviously sent a very clear message, and I made it very clear in the video yesterday. You don't care about our safety. If you did, you would have sent representatives and you would have worked on solutions, right? Or introduced technology or spent some money. You've introduced a 4-digit code, a 4-digit code. 4-digit code. My grandmother, my 3-year-old can come up with that idea. 4-digit code. That's your answer. How much did that cost you? 50 cents? $2? $5 max? 4-digit code. Banks are using it. Phones are using it. Well done, Uber and Lyft. That's the best you could do. That's the best you could do, Dara. That's the best you could do, Logan. A 4-digit code. Congratulations on your amazing leadership on coming up with a 4-digit PIN code. Jesus Christ. Sorry, blasphemy. Take that away. Extract, delete. Is that all you can do? Right? Come up with some serious stuff. Go and spend $50, $100 million on safety and security. So we have no more deaths, no more rapes, no more assaults, no more fights going on in cars. right? Show drivers that you are a leader. Show passengers and drivers that you care about their safety. I will keep on shoving that down Dara's throat and down Logan's throat until it gets a really shitty taste in their mouth, right? And we got to share on social media that if they don't care about our safety, let that stock drop. Push it down, connect with the public, right? So thank you, Ultra Testosterone, for getting my testosterone worked up right towards the end of the video when I was about to bail out and take the parachute and get out of the live stream. In comes Ultra Testosterone and fires me up. I appreciate that. I sometimes need the kick in the butt by my users, by my subscribers. I sometimes need the motivations from the Ultra Testosterones to get me fired up and keep on calling these guys who they are. They're not leaders. They're not CEOs. They're not even followers. They're not even inventors. They're not even market leaders or whatever else we want to call them. They're not that. That's not who they are. They're incompetent, unavailable, unresourceful failures that need to go. Thank you. Thank you to everyone. Thank you, Ultra. Thank you to the house. Thank you for firing me up. I stand in solidity with you as one, and we will keep on marching forward, right? And we will keep on projecting our voice until they hear us, until they finally implement some change. Yes, my friends. Yes, my friends. We do sometimes have to strap up, right? We do sometimes have to strap up and offer some right hooks, uppercuts, and jabs so that they hear us. And as I say that, my heart goes out to the boxer that passed away yesterday. He was in coma. He got hit so hard in a fight 2 or 3 nights ago. I'm just missing his name right now. But this was a boxing fight, like an up-and-coming boxer that got brain hemorrhage and died. It's a dangerous sport. I have a lot of friends who are pro boxers, and all I can do is pray and hope it never happens to them. But this is a gladiator sport, right? And in this rideshare business, we got to be gladiators. We got to keep on punching back. We can't just take it hands down, right? We got to fight back. Rideshare 411 comes in last minute. Good morning, everybody, he says. We would say good morning to you. I was on my way out until Ultra Testosterone fired me up one last time, I guess, extended the live feed for another 4 minutes. But please do me a huge favor, folks. If you're coming in, do me a huge favor. I'm not agreeing to this, and I want you to see that this is the verbiage, all of the verbiage that you have to scroll through, right? Scroll and scroll and scroll until we're only on number 6 right now. Number 17 is the one that you guys want to read. Section 17. Drive safe, my friends. Until the next live feed, have an amazing day. Thank you, guys.